Yo guys, what is up? 33 and a third RPM here, back to talk with another album review at the wall. Today we're diving into Cage the Elephant's discography with their first album from 2009, self-titled Cage the Elephant. This is a solid album. I'm not going to come out and say this is a great album. I especially believe that Cage the Elephant has better material that will be further along in their discography, but this is a very solid starter record from this band with a lot of really good songs, and even a couple that I still hear today at parties kind of weirds me out. I'm like, oh, you still listen to this stuff? But when I talk to my friends about this, but there's some really good hooks on here, some very prominent drums and guitars that drive these songs along. I'll be talking about that a couple times on specific tracks throughout here, and even a cowbell solo. A cowbell solo. One more time. A cowbell solo. Yes, it's awesome. So, this, if you didn't know, Cage the Elephant is a 5-piece band. They dabble in everything from alternative to a little bit of psychedelic and a couple records later in their discography, and rock. I believe they're from Ohio, but don't quote me on that. Their lead singer, Matt Schultz, pens most of their stuff. I believe they've only had a couple of people ever help them with the actual lyrics. One of them being Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys, who's a good influence when it comes to lyrics, but not when it comes to musical style, in my opinion. I like Cage the Elephant to have their own sound, which is demonstrated here in full force on this album. So, the album here has a pretty cool cover. We're just going to get straight into it. I really like that. I like this kind of like twisted maze tangle thing. I don't even know what that is. It looks cool. And on the back here, you got this like collage, and the tracks are really tiny in the corner there. So, this album starts off with In One Ear, which is not only the perfect song to start this album, but to start the band's discography. You see, this song is essentially a middle finger to anybody that has held them back or told them that they couldn't do it in the past. It's just awesome. This song actually starts off with people chatting in the studio. You hear some background people talking, and this guitar comes in, and the guitar has sort of, I don't want to say steel guitar, but it's not it rides a line between electric guitar and steel guitar. It's really an interesting sound. I would go check it out. They warp it to a couple extent on songs like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked here, which sounds really cool. I believe they do use slides for the intro to Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, though, so I have to look. I'll look that up afterwards. I'll put it in the comments, in the description. Anyway, this song is awesome. The thumping drum beat in here, like I said before, really carries this song with this giant vibe of, hey, you know, the critics say bad stuff about us, but it goes in one ear and right out the other. And they can say all they want, but we're going to make our music. Like I said, awesome starter, really upbeat starter. The next song on here is James Brown, track 2. This also has a prominent guitar melody, but kind of takes the drums back a little bit. Reels them back in for being this thumping presence, especially with the kick-bass combo on In One Ear. James Brown demonstrates what Cage the Elephant, I think, are very good at, and that is writing hooks. There are at least 4 or 5 hooks on here that'll be stuck in your brain, even if you're not too big of a fan of them. The only complaint I really have with this album, besides a couple of latter songs sounding kind of generic, is Screamo. I'm not a fan of metal, heads up, sorry to anybody that I offended. I'm really not a fan of metal music or screamo music at all. Screaming really turns me off in music, and there are a couple times where they scream on here, but it's only for a couple seconds, and I'm willing to overlook that, like in this song, James Brown. You know, it's like 10 seconds. It doesn't ruin the rest of a otherwise good 4-minute song. Next song on here is Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, which is a pretty classic song in the alternative rock genre, especially between 2000 and 2010. This comes in with a killer guitar solo, which I'm pretty sure, like I said before in the intro, has slides in it. I'll put that in the description. I'll look it up. The vocals on here are really interesting. Matt Schultz almost kind of sounds in pain when he says there's ain't no rest for the wicked. So bad. But it's a great song. Really catchy. And the guy that described in this song has a very bad day. He gets like attacked by like 3 different people, because they have no rest apparently. They can't even sit down and watch the Olympics for an hour. They are always mugging people. That will be a dated joke in at least a week. Next song I want to talk about here is Yes, it is the last track on side A. This is called Lotus. This is the aforementioned cowbell solo. This is awesome. It literally starts with this kind of guitar swell and then a bang of the cowbell. And the cowbell goes through the entire first verse. And you would say, well, 33 1/3 RPM. Is that annoying? No. Cowbells are amazing. Shut your mouth. This is an awesome song too, with actually the lyrics really focus in on this kind of anti-war sentiment, kind of in the same vein of when John Lennon and Yoko Ono got super political and make, oh gosh, was it Merry Christmas, like Merry Xmas, War is Over, and stuff like in that vein. But come on, guys, it's got a cowbell. Next on here, we go to side B for the first song, Back Against the Wall, which has an awesome guitar swell in the chorus. You'll notice things that I'm pointing out here are only specific moments in the song, because that's where I feel like Cage the Elephant has its downfall as this album. There are things that really stand out in these songs, whether it be the screaming, or the guitar melodies, or the drums, or the occasional witty lyric. But most of the time, these songs don't fully deliver on that premise of making the entire song interesting, and therefore the rest of the song kind of feels or the rest of the album kind of feels like that compared to these few standout moments. But Back Against the Wall does have a really catchy chorus and a really cool guitar swell into that, with a lot of very pop punky power chords in there. But I would never say this gets too far into pop punk territory. The rest of the songs on here, Drones in the Valley, Judas is a good song, Backstabbin' Betty, Soil to the Sun, and Free Love are kind of to me, take it or leave it. I really think the first half of this album is where it shines. Maybe that's just me not listening to side B as much, but I really do think that I favor side A a lot in this album, the first 5 tracks. So we'll get briefly into what's in this, and then I'll kind of wrap this up. Like I said, we got this on the cover. It does say Cage the Elephant, really tiny there on the spine. We got the back. And this just comes on standard black vinyl, but the copy I do have comes on 180 gram. It does come with a polylined inner sleeve, which is awesome. It does not come with an insert. Got a standard yellow label here. Is a pretty thick cut of vinyl. There you go. That's upright, right? Yeah, there you go. Cage the Elephant. Side 1. Cage the Elephant. Oh, I'm messing everything up today. Destroy my wrists in the process. Cage the Elephant 2. Side B. So yeah, this is a pretty solid project. It's not the best thing in their discography, but oh my god, it is not the worst. I'm gonna settle, and I'll be able to sleep tonight giving this album, it's a 7 out of 10. There are good moments on this album, but it really needs to be fleshed out a little more to give this album, to make it better in my eyes. Let me know in the comments what your favorite song off this is, and if you're a fan of Cage the Elephant, if so, what's your favorite album in their discography? I'll be covering a couple more in the days to come. I've got to get out some videos on this weekend before I go back to work during the week, but otherwise, that's it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening to me ramble, liking, and chatting with me in the comments, and subscribing. If you are a fan of Cage the Elephant, do subscribe. I'm covering a bunch of their stuff, like I said, in this weekend, and see what else I have in store to review. Until then, guys, I'm 33 1/3 RPM. I'll catch you on the flip side. That was a terrible outro. Keep on spinning.